Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, July 15, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section, let me know whether that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can see that we have a tropical wave right there across the western portions of the Caribbean. We have another tropical wave right there across the eastern section of the Caribbean. And we have two tropical waves across the main development region. Not to mention subtropical storm Don still spinning its way right there out into the northern portions of the North Atlantic. Taking a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with that first tropical wave that's affecting portions of the Western Caribbean, including Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. We can see that other tropical wave that has been affecting portions of the southeastern Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Tobago, Trinidad, and portions of the ABC Island are starting to get in on some of that weather right now, even although it is being sheared off to the east by all of those upper level winds, as we can see by that cloud cover being stretched out. And we can also see that next tropical wave right there to the east of the Caribbean and the other tropical wave right there off the coast of Africa. We'll be focusing on the weather across the Caribbean later on. Let's focus our attention on what took place across Jamaica for today. So it was mostly a partly cloudy day across the island, mostly sunny across the island. In the afternoon, we had a buildup of clouds that caused some amount of rainfall right there across sections of eastern Hanover, maybe portions of the Cockpit Country, northwestern St. Elizabeth right there. But that was basically about it. And we even had some flashes of lightning right there, as indicated by those sparkling white dots over these very same spots where we had that afternoon convection. Taking a look at the temperatures for tonight, we can see that we have 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and as usual, as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we see that the year is a bit more robust, showing some oranges and even almost red shades or colors across portions of Jamaica for 1 p.m. That's 18Z, 1 p.m. on a Sunday. The GFS showing more yellow colors that indicate up to at least 2 degrees Celsius above average temperatures. So the year is showing up to 4 degrees Celsius above average temperatures. GFS is showing up to 2 degrees Celsius above average temperatures. Where in the month of July, we usually get up to 91 degrees Fahrenheit for average temperatures for this month. This is about 33 degrees Celsius. So if we should be getting up to 2 degrees or up to 4 degrees Celsius above average, let's say we're going to be getting up to 34 to 36 degrees Celsius at most. Taking a look at the dry air map, some people always get this map confused for the Saharan dust forecast or the map. Nope, it's actually dry air because we don't have a lot of Saharan dust right there across portions of the eastern Pacific, but we do see red shade. It's a lot of dry air actually, and we see a lot of dry air across portions of the central Caribbean right there, as indicated by those yellows and oranges that surround Jamaica. But we do see the most dry air right there off the northwestern coast of Africa, as indicated by all of those reds and whites within those reds, as we can see by the key. As relates to the actual Saharan dust, we can see some slight hazy weather stretching all the way from the eastern Caribbean to the western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. We do indeed have the Saharan dust across portions of Jamaica and the Caribbean, and this is what it's going to be like for 2 p.m. on Sunday. However, we can see a very robust plume of dust, as indicated by all of those brown shades across the northern section of the main development region right there, and all of that will be pushing its way westward. Our only hope is that it does some kind of dissipate, that it actually dissipates by the time it gets to the Jamaica area, even although it is a robust blast or plume coming off of the coast of Africa. It's definitely coming our way, so try to get your preparations in order. If you are affected by the Saharan dust that drastically, whether it's your asthma, your sinusitis, allergies, whatever the case may be, ensure that you have your medication ready. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow for Jamaica, We see that for the most part Jamaica is still surrounded by some blues that represent at least 1.5 meter wave heights or less, and that's due to the fact that we're going to be receiving up to 20 knot winds coming in from the east, especially on the south coast where we see those greens. And we can see also that air will be piling up across inland areas of some central parishes as well as sections of some western parishes in Jamaica. So we know what usually happens. We have that buildup of cloud, we have that diurnal convection, so we have that cumulus cloud becoming cumulonimbus cloud, daytime heating contributing to some amount of afternoon convection. So that's exactly where we're going to be seeing that afternoon convection, sections of some western parishes and inland areas of some central parishes on Sunday. We see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing something quite similar, and with the wind shear coming in from the west, we're going to be, or the west southwest I might add, we might see more of the cloud covers from the cumulonimbus cloud being pushed up towards the east or maybe even to the northeast as indicated by the GFS, bringing more overcast skies and some of that rainfall to some northern parishes. Alright, so let us take a look at the precipitation forecast for tomorrow. We can see that both the Euro and the GFS are showing some amount of blue colors right there off the east of Jamaica, right there, maybe sections of St. Thomas or Portland. What time is this? This is 8 a.m. Jamaica time. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is actually 8 a.m. Jamaica time. So definitely sections of St. Thomas, Portland, maybe even spilling, hopefully spilling into sections of St. Andrew and Kingston tomorrow, hopefully, although it doesn't seem like it'll get there. Skipping ahead to a couple hours later, this is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, and we see more of the blues spreading to sections of some central and western parishes. Look at those blues. We see some blues across sections of Kingston and St. Andrew, sections of St. Catherine, Manchester, northern Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, southern St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland. Definitely St. Elizabeth going to be getting in on some of that, and we do see something similar across majority of the Euro model, even although the Euro model is showing some more eastern parishes, but we're not seeing that on the GFS model. As we look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, we do see rainfall. Both of these accumulated precipitation maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday. We're not saying that we're going to be having rainfall all the way up until then, but when it comes, it's going to be affecting these specific areas right here. So sections of some central and western parishes and maybe even some eastern parishes, we see the most rainfall on the Euro going up to at least 0.28 of an inch of rainfall, and that's across portions of Kingston and St. Andrew. What's about the GFS model? The GFS model is showing more of the rainfall across sections of western parishes and portions of inland areas of some central parishes, something similar to what both the 1 hour rainfall totals just showed. So what the GFS is showing makes more sense than what we're seeing on the Euro. Either way, we're going to be receiving some rainfall tomorrow, and we're indeed grateful for that considering that we're in our secondary dry season. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have tropical waves affecting portions of the southern and eastern Caribbean at this time. Sections of the western Caribbean, so sections of Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama getting in on some of that. Taking a look at the rainfall right now across portions of the northeastern Caribbean, we see that portion of the British US Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico definitely getting in on some rainfall at this time. Sections of Barbados, not so much, but we do see that rainfall across sections of St. Martin, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands right there, and even if we scroll up, we can see some of that rainfall going into sections of Tobago as well. Taking a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall right there across portions of Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, sections of northern Guatemala, Honduras, confirmation on the Nicaragua radar right there. Rainfall coming into sections of Nicaragua. You can see some rainfall across sections of the ABC Islands. Finally, some rainfall for them because they have been quite dry. You can also see some rainfall across sections of Florida as well. As it relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see some average to slightly above normal temperatures anywhere stretching from the eastern to the western Caribbean basin, but we do see the heat across sections of Cuba right there. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, just as we stated earlier, we have some slight hazy weather to receive stretching from the eastern Caribbean to the western Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico as indicated by those beige or light brown shades. We're not going to be experiencing those very hazy skies with those dark brown shades as yet. This is just the forecast for 2 p.m. on a Sunday, so maybe later on in the week, that's when this very robust plume of dust from the Sahara Desert will get to portions of the Caribbean. Take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow. We do see that we see a lot of purples that represent up to 2-meter wave heights or more, and that's to the far south of Jamaica, right there off the north coast of Panama. And that's due to the fact that the strongest wind will be across those spots, as indicated by those yellow shades that represent up to 25 knots or more, while the rest of the Caribbean basin should be receiving easterly winds averaging up to 20 knots at most. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, we don't see much in the way of rainfall for sections of Cuba or the Bahamas, but we do see some rainfall for sections of Florida on both maps, sections of Hispaniola, Haiti, Dominican Republic, sections of Puerto Rico, maybe portions of the British Virgin Islands. You can also see some rainfall anywhere from Guadeloupe southward to Dominica, St. Martin, sections of St. Lucia, Martinique, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, maybe even sections of Barbados getting in on some of that rainfall as well, and Trinidad and Tobago. But it won't be that robust as what portions of South America and Central America are going to be getting. They are seeing some reds and some purple shades in there as well that represent up to 1 inch of rainfall or more. So anywhere from Belize southward, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, sections of Costa Rica, Panama, sections of Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname and French Guiana might get in on some of that heavier rainfall. I know that when both maps are showing the same thing like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for